Our differences are understood, but regular sounds really good. Our differences are understood, but regular sounds really good. Just a regular Joe, a lot like me and you. Time to take a deep breath after all we've been through. Opportunity knocks, and this I know. I could use a big cup of regular Joe, a really big cup of regular Joe. I was nervous, I was scared. He said jump, and I said where? Off this cliff, we're gonna glide. You must be joking, I replied. Not at all. He said to me, I'll be right here, here's where I will be. We'll take the plunge, it won't be hard. We'll do it once, and that's a start. 'Cause practice makes progress, give it a try. That thing you think you can't do just stresses you. It's just a journey, you and I. Practice makes progress, give it a try. Got a friend in a chair, he rolls around here and there. There are things that he can't do. Ride a bike, tie his shoe. But who said legs or eyes or ears makes this world any clearer? He teaches me, I stumble on, and we get up whenever we fall down. 'Cause practice makes progress, give it a try. That thing you think you can't do just stresses you. It's just a journey, you and I. Practice makes progress, give it a try. Here it comes again, I'm feeling fearful, afraid of the mistakes that I might make. But fear is just excitement without oxygen, so I will take the deepest breath that I can take. A little nervous, a little shy, new situation, my oh my. But here I go, what's there to lose? I'll still be breathing no matter what I do. 'Cause practice makes progress, give it a try. That thing you think you can't do just stresses you. It's just a journey, you and I. Practice makes progress, give it a try. Your turn.
Practice makes progress, give it a try. That thing you think you can't do just stresses you. It's just a journey, you and I. Practice makes progress, give it a try.
It's just a journey, it's always so. Practice makes progress. Here we go. Have I put my big old foot in my mouth again? Have I crossed a line I never should have crossed? Your reaction to my words has got me thinking. Can I retract that thoughtless statement that I tossed? You know I didn't really mean for it to sound that way. Sometimes my mouth just springs a leak. So I took a little look inside that mirror. Now I ask myself 3 things before I speak. Is it necessary, true, and kind? Is there something more authentic I can find to say? Is it from my heart or from my mind? Is it necessary, true, and kind? If I could hit rewind and take it back, I'd do it. Would you kindly put a muzzle on my beak? That old tape I've got's an 8-track, I'm so through with it. Will the silence be improved on when I speak? Is it necessary, true, and kind? Is there something more authentic I can find to say? Is it from my heart or from my mind? Is it necessary, true, and kind? When my monkey mind has found that open faucet, and the chatter makes a steamy pool of stress. If there's any trace of toxic in my talking, I will grab a mop, clean up all my mess, and I will do my best to button up and hear you. Knowledge speaks, but wisdom listens. I saw that written on a Jimi Hendrix bumper sticker. He was awfully smart for a musician. Is it necessary, true, and kind? Is there something more authentic I can find to say? Is it from my heart or from my mind? Is it necessary, true, and kind? 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 This playground fight is getting old, it's plain as day to see. The little ones in grown-up clothes, they do not speak for me. They do not speak for me. They do not speak for me. The little ones in grown-up clothes, they do not speak for me. Rejection of the status quo is part of being free. But when you talk of walls and poles, you do not speak for me. You do not speak for me. You do not speak for me. When you talk of walls and poles, you do not speak for me. Do you think you win support by threatening your villains? Pointing fingers, making faces, acting like small children.
Hello everyone, thanks so much for joining us today. We're going to get the show started promptly at 7:30 p.m. The show is free, so do not feel obligated to tip, but if you'd like to do so to show appreciation, there are links in the chat. Thank you for your appreciation, or thank you for your patience. We'll see you guys soon.
It's time to draw a harder line for all the world to see. If you do not share a higher goal, you do not speak for me. You do not speak for me. You do not speak for me. If you do not share a higher goal, you do not speak for me. Do you serve the people's will? Oh, do you hear our cries? Will you do the right thing to unite, not polarize? This playground fight is getting old. It's plain as day to see. The little ones in grown-up clothes, they do not speak for me. They do not speak for me. They do not speak for me. The little ones in grown-up clothes, they do not speak for me. 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 We're the stuff that stars are made of, dust and light. What appears to be a vacuum is not an endless night. All the darkness in between doesn't mean a blessed thing. We're the stuff that stars are made of. We are the stuff of stars. We're the stuff that stars are made of, hopes and dreams. What appears as challenging may not be all it seems. All the doubt and all the fear no longer has a home in here. We're the stuff that stars are made of. We are the stuff of stars. Gravity may pull you down with all its might. Never underestimate the power and speed of light. We're the stuff that stars are made of, sparks and spheres.
Hello everyone on YouTube, Facebook, and Zoom. Thank you so much for joining us today. To everyone on the Zoom side of things, we would like to give you an opportunity to unmute for laughter and applause between songs. Just know that you must be in a quiet space, no dogs barking, phones on silent, just like at a live concert. To volunteer to be unmuted, you will need to go down to the bottom of the screen where the reactions icon is. Once you click on that, you will see this raise hand button. This is a new thing. They just changed where it is on Zoom, unfortunately. But if you see that button, you can click it, and you're basically signaling to me that you are in a quiet space. You'd like to be unmuted during the show. Just please keep quiet during the songs. Stick to applause once the songs are over. If you can't find it, you can always message me in the chat and ask me to unmute you. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce David Roth.
Hey, everybody. How are you? So good to be back with you. And I want to thank Brandon in advance for doing the tech. Brandon O'Sullivan, the most highly sought after tech wizard anywhere. Wow. I never knew when I picked this date, January 9th, that it would be on the heels of so much going on in the world. So I want to dedicate this music hour and change, if it works out that be, to compassion, kindness, communication, decency, hearing one another. It seems like Pete Seeger was saying this in the songs he wrote 70 years ago, and we're still needing to say it time and time again. So hopefully the songs will speak for themselves. And before I do get started with the music, I want to introduce my old friend, or friend of many years, Liz Freeman, who was one of the driving forces behind the awesome Linden Tree Coffee House in Wakefield, where I've had the good fortune to be invited a number of times. So Liz, welcome tonight, and thank you for co-sponsoring.
Well, good evening to everybody who is watching tonight from near and far. I would like to hello to our Linden Tree regulars and our volunteers, and say hello to those who are new to the Linden Tree Coffee House. Our monthly shows were started at the UU Church in Wakefield in 1985. I thought they needed more publicity because I loved being able to leave my kids at home 5 minutes away so I could come down and listen to music, and place to have good parking and good brownies and other things. So I started helping because I had the computer to do the publicity. Like most concert series, the Linden Tree is not having live concerts this year because of the COVID-19, but we wanted to bring our audience and performers together to celebrate our 36th season of acoustic music. Our performers like David and others from near and far will be doing live shows from the safety of their home. And our audience members get to grab their favorite beverages and sit on their favorite couches and get to listen to some great music up close and personal. The Linden Tree Coffee House, our theme is making memorable music. David has been a longtime favorite because we do like his music. I've used some of his themes in teaching and just in life. He strikes many hearts and minds, unique songs, his observations on life, his stories. He can be funny. He can make you go, oh, wow, I love that. As a singer, he's a songwriter, he's a recording artist, keynote speaker, a workshop leader, instructor. He's won a lot of top honors for songwriting competitions at Kerrville and Falcon Ridge. His experience and expertise is great. And for many years, like I said, he's been one of our longtime friends, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy the music. I also want to thank Martha and from the Ivy Court Coffee House, our neighboring coffee house in Reading, for joining us in getting out the PR, because we thought the more people to celebrate with us, the better. So thank you for joining. Don't forget to put a little tip in David's tip jar if you can, and just sit back and enjoy. Thank you, David, for being here. And thank you, Brendan, for doing our techie. Thank you.
Thanks, Liz. And we'll hear from Martha towards the end of the show, coming back with Liz after, some songs. are days that are simply not okay. You get out of bed, you're on your way. This is one of those. There are cheerleaders and those who'd pump you up with platitudes and words that don't mean much. Not much at all. Oh, my friend, I will meet you where you are. I won't throw flower petals on your wounded heart. If it's not okay, we won't pretend. But if it's not okay, it's not the end. Aren't you stronger than you ever used to be? At least that's the way it seems to me. If not to you, aren't you the one who's made it all this way? No matter what those voices in your head might say, it's up to you. Oh, my friend, I will meet you where you are. I won't throw flower petals on your wounded heart. If it's not okay, we won't pretend. But if it's not okay, it's not the end. Looking through a broken glass, this too shall pass. There are times that are simply not okay. What you do with them, you get to say. You get to say. Oh, my friend, I will meet you where you are. I won't throw flower petals on your wounded heart. If it's not okay, we won't pretend. But if it's not okay, it's not the end. I hear the noise. Sometimes I want to tune it out, but I believe that's not all that it's about. I watch the news, and it's not hard to understand. I offer you my hand. I have a song. My tone is deep, and when I breathe, it carries words that I believe. And when I say that it is time to change the course, I know that I am not alone. There are more creators than there are haters who grow in number every day. And the loudest voice is not the only choice. I choose the loving way. With my guitar, my strings may bend and they may break with every chord. I've got another point to make, and when I say that it is time to change the course, I know that I am not alone. There are more creators than there are haters who grow in number every day. And the loudest voice is not the only choice. I choose the loving way. A word of hate is mindless. A work of art is timeless. I have a pen. My ink is bold and it is broad, my point is sharp, and my intention is my sword. And when I say that it is time to change the course, I know that I am not alone. There are more creators than there are haters who grow in number every day. And the loudest voice is not the only choice. I choose the loving way. 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 Wow. I do. If anybody tells you there's no politics in guns, and that now is not the time to change the laws, just meet the gaze of those who've lost family or friends, and tell me how you justify the cause. It's well and good to send out loving thoughts and loving prayers, but by now these thoughts and prayers are not enough. All the good intentions and the cries to make a change must be followed up with action and rebuff. So change the laws, change the laws, change the contract, change the clause, change the mind, and change the cause. Change the laws, change the laws. If politicians say do not politicize these things and get caught up in the moment or in haste, I say it's precisely what we need to speak about before another single life is wasted. So change the laws, change the laws, change the contract, change the clause, change the mind, and change the cause. Change the laws, change the laws. I will not be silenced, though the silencers abound. I will not be led by those opposed to common ground. If anybody tells you there's no politics in guns, they're the ones who know that money runs the show. And as long as nothing changes, they'll be happy and content, and they'll do their best to keep the status quo. So change the laws, change the laws, change the contract, change the clause, change the mind, and change the cause. Change the laws, change the laws, change the mind, and change the cause. Change the laws, change the laws. My. Feels like a night to let the songs kind of speak for themselves, but I may find a few words somewhere along the way here. I heard somebody had a hard day out there. I had a hard one too. We could count them all up and see who wins. Who do you think would have more, me or you? Feeling sorry might work, but not for long. We don't have the luxury of time. So I've got an idea, and it might help us both. And it starts with a question of mine. What can I do for you today? How can I help in some small way? It would be such a gift to me, it's true, if you'd let me do one little thing for you. What can I do? There's a whole lot of things that I can't make. Can't build a house or meditate. But I know there's one thing I can create. Oh, I can make some time. Though the older I get, the faster it flies. Spend it like crazy, no surprise. But when my pockets are empty and my credits declined, I'll know that at least I gave you some time. What can I do for you today? How can I help in some small way? It would be such a gift to me, it's true, if you'd let me do one little thing for you. What can I do? Such a noisy and crazy earth out there. We are neighbors in crisis everywhere. Just in case you were thinking that no one cares, someone may prove you wrong. People all over this world need love, and some won't be lucky to get enough. And that's why I'm hoping that you'll understand how we'll both get ahead if I give you a hand. What can I do for you today? How can I help in some small way? It would be such a gift to me, it's true, if you'd let me do one little thing for you. What can I do?
Yay!
Yeah, I recognize that. Yeah, that sounds like Leon Shure from New Jersey. You know you're in folk music when you recognize the laughter of your friends, because that's really the beautiful thing about folk music, you know, is that there's so much personal connection. It doesn't feel like the music industry, you know? Two words which I thought never should go together. It's an oxymoron, you know? Just like the phrase popular folk music, okay? I'm going to throw a couple of brand new ones at you, and hope that's okay, but I've got the microphone. I was venting a little bit a couple months ago, and you guys know me as a mindful optimist, you know, but I was just, I don't know, anybody else felt frustrated lately? There are those who wished you well from every side of every aisle, who put so many differences on hold. We saw that helicopter fly to Walter Reed where they stood by. We all know this is not the common cold. We pay for all that care you get, and that's okay, no regrets. We'd like to think you do the same for us. But that's not what's been going on. 300,000 people gone. That's the view from underneath the bus. You benefit from finest care. They went and rushed you over there. They spoke about abundance of caution. Where was that caution months ago when you had time to let us know? Instead, you've played it down to our exhaustion. Then COVID-19 went and found you. What did you expect around you? No one wearing masks or spreading out. This virus has no end in sight. Still you say you got it right. The only thing you've spread is fear and doubt. Smugly make your hateful rants, surrounded by your sycophants, the yes-men of your club who've sold their souls. One day will be a reckoning of each and every single thing. You sabotaged the courts and now the polls. But people have a way of rising up against what we're despising. Don't believe in everything you say, for this is just a blip in time. We will rise and we will climb. No matter what you do, we'll find our way. There are those who wished you well from every side of every aisle. That's how decent human beings behave. You've had a turn and now it's done. It's time that we were moving on with the one who won't debase and won't deprave. But more importantly, how can I be the kind of change I'd like to see? Can I do the same for us? I'm calling on my better angels. Higher roads are sometimes painful. That's the view from underneath the bus. I'm calling on my better angels. Higher roads are sometimes painful. I'm getting out from underneath the bus.
Yay! 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 Yay!
You know, for the last several months, I've been taking part in something called the Daily Antidote of Song, which is put on by a group in the Washington, D.C. area called the Washington Rebels. And every day at noon for the last, I think, more than 200 days, every single day at noon, the organizer, a gal named Jo Rassi, and a bunch of other people have a sing-along at 12 noon every day, Eastern Time. One song and one song leader. So one of my friends recommended me to Jo, and I've been on there about 4 or 5 times to do one of my songs. I think one time we did Ready for Change. We've done My Voice Matters. We did a new song I wrote when the new moon was rising, called New Moon or something like that, and been really, really beautiful. A couple, 3 weeks ago, they had a gal on named Chris Matthews, and some of you, if you don't know Chris, you should know her. She's doing very powerful work in songwriting and a very, very powerful performer. And of course, my old friend Reggie Harris was in on that meeting too. I was there, and as I was taking my daily run the next day, I thought, I should see if Chris and Reggie might want to write a song together. I saw them both on the screen, and it's so hard to figure out what to say that hasn't been said already, that's not preaching to the choir, or, it raises for me the big rhetorical question, does a song make a difference in the world? And all I can tell you is, from my perspectives, it makes a difference for me. It makes my life richer. And so we batted around some ideas, and I'm going to play the first performance of our song. It's sort of a work in progress, but I like the spirit behind it. So thanks to my friends Chris and Reggie. Here goes something. If you catch on to the chorus by some miracle, please feel to sing along. Feel free. I trust most of the mute buttons are in full force. But if you happen to be in a room with somebody else and you're not alone watching this, you could look at them right now and say, I can't wait to hear you sing with David. When the choir comes together, we mostly get along. Singing's just like talking as we run through all our songs. We're holding the same music and singing different parts. But even in our differences, we share a common heart. We're on the same page. Same page. We're on the same page, singing different parts. We're on the same page. The same page, the same page, with many different hearts. You want to try that chorus just for fun? We're on the same page, the same page. We're on the same page, singing different parts. We're on the same page, the same page, the same page, many different hearts. I can tell you sound good. The songs may sound familiar, the message may seem clear, but if I listen closer, this is what I hear. Even if we're tripped up in so many points of view, there's still a bigger picture uniting me and you. We're on the same page, the same page. We're on the same page, singing different parts. We're on the same page, the same page, the same page, and many different hearts. It's opening night, here comes the show. We've got this, yes we do. And all the work that we've put in is gonna see us through. I will never take for granted that everyone agrees. Every day is a rehearsal for my singing and my deeds. There are questions that confound me and answers deep within. Can't tell you what it means to me to lift my voice and sing. We're on the same page, the same page. We're on the same page, singing different parts. We're on the same page, the same page, the same page, and many different hearts. Ah, one more time. We're on the same page, the same page. We're on the same page, singing different parts. We're on the same page, the same page, the same page, and many different hearts. The same page and many different hearts. You got it. The same page and many different hearts.
Yeah.
Woo. First time is always the most nerve-wracking time, isn't it? Well, I want to make note of some birthdays in the house tonight. I know my friend Leon Schur from Nuevo Jersey, New Jersey, is having a birthday tonight, and he just put something in the chat. He chose to spend his birthday with us, and I know that tomorrow night is Barbara Rudy's birthday. I know that in 53 days, Larry Bridges' birthday, because once this birthday thing started happening, everybody started telling me how many days until their birthday. And I know that last time I did one of these concerts, my friend David Engels had a big birthday. So this is a belated happy birthday to David. And Leon's request, I think Barbara already requested it. This is about teachers, Liz, and an old song of mine, and came about as the result of a conversation with an old friend of mine, telling me how she'd gone back to visit one of her old teachers, and this began forming very strongly in my mind. A few months later, I got reconnected with my high school music teacher, Frank Winkler, who sometimes watches these shows because we're still in touch. And Frank and I have been reconnected after him being my choir director, the man who more often than not told me to hit the high notes and spit out my gum. So happy birthday, everybody. See if you recognize this old Peter, Paul, and Mary melody in the introduction. First time that I heard that song was a time I well remember. It all goes back some 20 years to Mr. Ryan's classroom. One day he brought his old guitar and he sang his favorite songs for us. The single one that I remember most was All My Trials. Something in his simple singing touched my very sixth grade soul. Harmonies he taught us are the ones that I still know today. The verse about the tree of life was one plus to a 12-year-old. Many times these 20 years I've wished that I could say, thank you for the music, Mr. Ryan. The simple gift you gave that day is one I've treasured dearly. I'll always see you sitting up there singing all my trials. You'll never know how much it's meant to me. You'll never know how much it's meant to me. I went home to see my folks in June, the town that I grew up in. Three of us were sitting in the kitchen having coffee. I remembered, mentioned Mr. Ryan, how I'd wondered what became of him. Mother said she'd heard that he's still working at my school. I grabbed my coat and ran outside, retracing old familiar routes. Shortcut through the playground and the echo of that hallway. There he was in room 11, wiping off the blackboard. I took a breath and cleared my throat and stepped back into time. Thank you for the music, Mr. Ryan. The simple gift you gave that day is one I've treasured dearly. I'll always see you sitting up there singing all my trials. You'll never know how much it's meant to me. You'll never know how much it's meant to me. So we sat and talked for quite a while. I don't think that he remembered me, but I told him of my work and where I've been and what I've done. Finally he leaned back and said, it's amazing that you've come today. Just last night my mother and I were talking until 1. She asked me, was I happy? I said, yes, I love my teaching, but I'm sad I never married, that I never fathered children. Oh yes, she said, oh yes, my son, you have fathered several hundred. Now I look across this cluttered desk, and here you've come. Thank you for the visit, my dear child. The simple gift you gave today is one I will treasure dearly. I'll always see you sitting up here, filling in these 20 years. You'll never know how much it is meant to me. You'll never know how much it's meant to me.
Yay, thank you. Love it.
You know, one thing about quarantine is that I've been just spending more time with the piano, and I still kind of play by ear and by feel, but it's just it's so beautiful to sit at the 88s. My favorite instrument. When I was a kid, my mom, as you know, a professional big band singer, she took $600 of her hard-earned money, and that was a gazillion dollars back then. She spent $600 and bought an acrosonic spinet piano made by Baldwin, and she still has it in her house out in Los Angeles. It's still sitting there. And years later, I asked, how come, you got that piano? Because I never saw her play it. And she said, well, I love music so much. I was hoping you might be drawn to play it. And I wanted to have it in the house in case you found yourself drawn to it. So early on, as I was a young kid, I was watching this great piano player on TV a lot named Liberace. Remember him? Yeah, he was very flamboyant. He had a candelabra on his lamp. Outside the camera angle here, I've got a lava lamp. It's not exactly the same thing, but he had a candelabra. And he did this thing called a glissando. Everybody know what a glissando is? Well, I tune my trusty nylon string guitar. Ah, that's close enough. Glissando is where you kind of go, you just take your fingers and go all the way across. It's a very flashy move at the beginning or the end of a phrase. And I loved watching him do this. So there was my mom's new piano. So I took a penny and I did my first and last glissando. I went and made a dark line over the new white keys, a scratch, if you would, over at least 60 of the 88 keys, which is there to this day. And someone in the labyrinth says they have a poem with the word glissando in it. Well, how about that? I don't. But it's been wonderful to sit at the keyboard and just become more familiar with it and take songs that I've been playing for years on guitar and just seeing what happens, when I bang them out. Sometimes my hands feel like bunches of bananas on 2x4s, just flailing around down there. But other times, not so much. So now comes a song of mine that's written about two people who did something rather extraordinary. This is true, and this goes out to all my friends in Michigan. That's where Brandon O'Sullivan is from and living. He's doing this broadcast from Michigan. I'm on Cape Cod. But every September for years I've been going out to Michigan. And in one particular instance, playing in a suburb area of Detroit called Garden City. And caught wind of this amazing story. And I hope that the song will speak for itself. It's got a lot of numbers, so if I get lost, somebody get out your calculators and help me in the chat room or something, okay? But it's a true story, and I love it. These ordinary people who do extraordinary things. Sort of like a glissando on the guitar. Michael and Marion met on the blind date and married within a few months. They had an idea for a place for a family could go out for dinner or lunch. Garden City, Michigan, that's where they started, expanding in 3 years to Warren. Business was booming, their pizza was doing so well that their profits were soaring. That's your part. So well that their profits were soaring. Then a shop in Detroit, and 2 years after that, they had 50 franchises all over. With 7 young children along for the ride, somehow Michael maintained his composure. He bought the pro hockey team, then bought the Tigers, and did something else on the side. Back then Michael was generous, he gave something back to his city and neighbors with pride. There you go. To his city and neighbors with pride. Any guesses? Oh, hail little Caesars, hail little Caesars. Mike gave away lots of his dough. With money for hungry folks, kids, and for veterans, it was much more than pizza, Here we go. Much more than pizza, Today there are more than 5,000 Little Caesars in 25 countries worldwide. And if you want pizza in Fargo, North Dakota, there's a store with a sign hanging outside. The manager noticed a person in torn clothes was digging for scraps in the trash. And here are the words to the sign that she posted, had nothing to do with the cash. Friend, if you're hungry and you'd need some food, please come in for some pizza and water. There's no charge at all, and we won't ask you questions. Doors open, we're happy to offer. Doors open, we're happy to offer. Hail North Dakota, hail North Dakota. I hope Little Caesars takes note, and that all of their franchises have such a heart, 'cause we're all riding in the same boat. If there's anyone there to promote, the people out there get my vote.
That wasn't me. Hello, yay!
I know. All right, so let's see. I'm doing musical guitars here tonight. I'm not sure if my friends Carl and Annie Lukens are zooming in from Wayne, New Jersey, but Carl, I owe you a phone call if you're listening. I saw that you called last night, and it was the day kind of got away from me, but phone calls coming your way, and so is this song. You always ask for this every time I've played in your state. The birth state of my mother, by the way, New Jersey, where she was, in fact, once in elementary school, the penmanship champion of New Jersey. Just saying. Right? So when I go to New Jersey, it's kind of like, I'm sort of like royalty there. Or I wished that I was. And I look forward to coming back to Nueva Jersey. All right, this is for you, Carl, and anyone else within earshot. I read that Norman Rockwell died, didn't even know him. But I remember visiting Stockbridge, the town he made his home in. I remember how those people glowed just because they had a chance to share an old story or two about a man who'd painted America there. When a hand reaches out and brushes lines, the spirit of the painter never dies. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, oh, misery the guns that bloodied amber waves of grain in 1861. Add 100 years of suffering to a movement and a theme, and you have a most amazing soul who said, I have a dream. When a voice rises up to challenge lies, the spirit of the speaker never dies. Now I won't be no president, and I can't be a king, but I have these hands to reach for you. We have a voice to sing, and I'm surely not an artist with a canvas or a brush, but I paint these songs with colors that remind me of your touch. An American in Paris wrote a rhapsody in blue, passed away at 38 before his time was due. Some felt cheated of a gift so prematurely taken, but I believe we're born again and often reawakened. For when a song touches something deep inside, the spirit of the singer never dies. Now lay no claim to genius when I'm playing this guitar. Sometimes I'm lost for words just trying to describe the way we are. But my book is filled with sketches made of dreams and prayers and friends, and I draw these songs with images of seeing you again. Read that Norman Rockwell died. I never even knew him, but it wasn't hard to see the love in what the man was doing. You don't have to be a genius or the leader of the band, just as long as while you're on this earth you do the best you can. Though your road may be filled with turns and bends, the journey of your spirit never ends. I know that the Engels may be watching, and they have a place in Western Massachusetts near Stockbridge where the Norman Rockwell Museum is. And, you know, I was living in Anchorage, Alaska in the late 70s, and I picked up the Anchorage Daily News and heard that Rockwell had passed away. This was the late 1970s. And there was something about remembering his paintings. He was kind of panned, you know, by art critics for being kind of, I don't know, not considered a serious artist. And for years he drew covers for the Saturday Evening Post. And conspicuously absent in the covers that he drew for the Post were people of color. And he painted an extremely iconic painting called The Problem We All Live With, about a little African-American girl being escorted to her school by the National Guard. And you don't see the guards except from the waist down. You see this beautiful little girl whose name was Ruby Bridges being escorted to school. And there's the N-word is written on the wall, and it was, you know, but Saturday Evening Post didn't want people of color on their covers. So Rockwell finally made a stand, and he took his talents to the Look magazine, who put it on one of their covers as soon as he came over to Look from the Saturday Evening Post. And a woman who became and remained a civil rights activist, little Ruby Bridges, grew up and during the Obama administration stood outside the Oval Office with President Obama. This Norman Rockwell painting was on tour, and Obama had asked that it be installed outside the Oval Office. And he had his picture taken with Ruby Bridges, now an adult in her 60s, standing next to the original painting that Rockwell had made outside the Oval Office. Just a beautiful, beautiful story that inspires me. So I'll have this this guitar in what we call Dadgad, D-A-D-G-A-D. I'll use it for one more song, and this song is also based on a true story, and this is a little bit of history going way back. It has the word the House, as in the House of Representatives. One thing that happened in 2020 is that both of my musical tours to Ireland were canceled, obviously, doing one next summer and two in 2022 with Innisfree Music Tours. And on our first trip over there in 2014, our group was staying the first 3 nights in the town of Skibbereen in County Cork. And right across the street from our hotel was a famine history center. about that horrible famine. And there was one of the guides there told me this amazing story of something that happened in North America during this time that somehow got connected. And, you know, this is the mid-1800s. There wasn't internet or telephones or any of that kind of stuff. The connection that was made here by people paying attention to what was going on in the world was utterly astounding. And my old friend Freebo helped me write this song. A true story. 1830, Congress had a meeting. Andrew Jackson went before the House. They took a vote to relocate some people, the ones they didn't want there in the South. Sent them on their way one dark and cloudy day. Little food or clothing out the door. 1,500 miles, Oklahoma bound. Little did they know what lay in store. That winter was the coldest one on record. Many of the Choctaw passed away. Those who did survive did so just barely. The ones who never really had their say. Trail of tears, trail of tears, crawling down a trail of tears. 1845, the Irish famine. The Brits decided they would get the food, all the healthy crops from their green neighbor, everything imported that they could. The only crop that wasn't for the eating, potatoes were diseased and everywhere. But no one in that country dared to have them, and many in the other didn't care. Those starving years will never be forgotten. 1 million people died in utter pain, more painful as it might have been avoided, if not for those so selfish and insane. Famine years, suffering through the famine years. What would I do in such a situation? Could I find it in myself to survive? Is there healing to be found within injustice? You might be surprised. 1847, Oklahoma. The Choctaw now were settled on their land, and even after such atrocious journeys, they kept their noble values close at hand. And this is when they learned about the famine that took so many lives across the sea. They knew that they could not ignore the anguish, the same that they'd endured so recently. A leather sack went passed around the village. Donations were collected one by one. $180 US later, this collection was sent off to Ireland. Trail of tears, trail of tears, rising up. Trail of tears, trail of tears, trail of tears, rising up. Trail of tears, trail of tears, trail of tears, rising up, rising up, rising up together. Trail of tears.
Yes.
Well, I'm very curious to see what's in the chat, but I haven't been watching it. Brandon, I'm going to trust you. If there's anything urgent in there, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to play a couple more songs, and then we'll take a brief break and get into some kind of after party, okay? So I know my friend Vitus is here. I think Gwen Ellen is here from Oregon, and whole bunches of other people. I'm sorry I can't go through the chats and things to name and look at you all, but that's what the after party is for. And Brandon will put that information in the chat if you want to hop on the Zoom meeting or watch from a distance, because we'll keep the stream going a little bit. That's what we'll do. So I've been going on making these Ireland trips every year until last year, of course. And we were in the town of Donegal a couple years ago, and it was a rain day, so we were doing indoor activities. And we went to this little castle in Donegal, and lo and behold, on the second floor in this old stone Irish castle was an altar to the Choctaw Indians who had donated money to the Irish famine victims. It had pictures of paintings of people and feathers and all kinds of stuff. It was amazing, the connections that were made. Back in the day, when people were being really human to one another and could recognize others' pain. Well, a year ago this month, in fact, this week, I had my Cape Cod Songwriters Retreat, and one of my old friends and instructors, Tom Prasado Rao, joined my staff along with me and Sloan Wainwright. And I think Tret Fury was there that year, last January. And Tom and I put this song together. A young girl was making world headlines by standing up for the environment. To a weary world you have come to say, all is not forsaken, but tomorrow is too late. The future isn't cast, we must play our part. With shadows all around us, you are shining in the dark. You know what I'm talking about? It's Greta Thunberg. But that's not how her name is pronounced, because I went on the pronunciation guide on the internet. I'm going to do my best to do the proper Swedish pronunciation of her name, even though her name sounds so nice with the American chopping of it. I'm going to give you the best I can to pronounce Greta's name as it's pronounced in Swedish. Though the night is upon us, Greta Thunberg, you're the light in the darkness, Greta Thunberg. The time has come, tomorrow's too late. You're lifting us higher, Greta Thunberg. Save us from the fire, Greta Thunberg. The time has come, tomorrow's too late. There are those who say you're just a little girl, but look at you today, throwing lightning at the world. Speaking truth to power, Greta, now is the hour. We can't wait, we can't wait. Said the lamb to the lion, Greta Thunberg. You're not as strong as I am, said Greta Thunberg. The time has come, the time has come. Tomorrow is too late. There are those who say you're just a little girl, but look at you today, throwing lightning at the world. Speaking truth to power, Greta, now is the hour. We can't wait. We can't wait. Though the night is upon us, Greta Thunberg, you're a light in the darkness, Greta Thunberg. The time has come. The time has come. Tomorrow's too late. The time has come. The time has come. Tomorrow is too late. And I'll fittingly close with a song I wrote in Ireland. I've sort of back-ended this concert with Irish-related things, coming as I do from that great tradition of suburban Jewish folk singers. And this was requested by not one but two people. So, I see the Lamberts are weighing in about being on our tour. There's several people watching tonight who've been with me to Ireland. It's so beautiful. I'm going to Scotland next summer as well, and rafting in Idaho. We actually rafted in Idaho. My 30-person trip took place in August of last year. We went with all precautions and social distance, got there, and it was incredible. So we're sailing again at the end of August next year. So this final song is called Until We Meet Again, and I hope it's sooner rather than later. You could do me a favor by signing up to my YouTube channel at some point. If I get 1,000 people, and I'm actually creeping towards that, then they start paying attention. I don't know what that means exactly, but it'd be nice to get that. And it's free, and I don't think anybody will send you too many emails like I don't or that sort of thing. So... wrote this in an Irish pub when we were getting a beautiful lecture on the history of Irish music. My mind just started to wander looking out in the fields out the window and came up with this song, which was recorded by a German super Irish trio called Iontach. It's the same final song on both of our most recent albums. The big hand of the mighty clock goes turning fast and faster. Where has the time gone? I don't know. The hourglass no one can master. Gone away is all the past, right to this very moment. For now I'll simply raise a glass to all we have in common. And now we go our separate ways. We came as strangers, leave as friends. I wish you well in all your days until we meet again. Greatest distance in this world is not from pole to pole, but rather from the head to heart, from soul to soul to soul. And here we are together now, and standing side by side. I offer you my hand and hope I'll see you by and by. For now we go our separate ways. We came as strangers, leave as friends. I wish you well in all your days until we meet again. The sun may shine at different times, for some and not for others. So bring the light where'er you go, my sisters and my brothers. May all the blades of grass you tread point in your right direction, and every movement that you make rekindle our connection. So now we go our separate ways. We came as strangers, leave as friends. I wish you well in all your days until we meet again. For now we go our separate ways. We came as strangers, leave as friends. I wish you well in all your days until we meet again.
Yeah, baby.
Very nice.
So before we wrap this up, this portion of the concert, I want to reintroduce Liz Freeman and bring Martha Moore in from the Ivy Cord Coffee House just to say a little hello to us and put kind of a bow tie on the concert portion of this grand adventure. So welcome in Martha and Liz. There's Liz.
Hi. Thank you all for watching. It was a wonderful way to spend the time, and there's a little bit more coming up. And I'm hoping Dave will go back to one of his early songs, because he has a couple of people from New Jersey they were in New Jersey, now they're in Atlanta area waiting to hear that one song that they've been waiting all night, the Ollie the Dog one.
What song is that?
The Ollie the Dog.
Oh, of course. What a fitting encore. I almost forgot.
And I just wanted to let people know that our next show is February 6th, and it's with Kip and Martin and Kirsten Manville.
And Martha, a little bit about the Ivy Cord. And thank you for being with us, Martha, too.
My pleasure. Ivy Cord Coffee House has produced live concerts since 1999, including by David Roth. And I'm so happy on behalf of the Ivy Cord Coffee House and the Unitarian Universalist Church of Reading to thank David Roth and Linden Tree Coffee House for allowing us this opportunity to bring some joy and music to our audiences until we can gather together again in person. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to take a stab at this song, Liz. I don't know if I even remember it. So I may just, we'll just see what happens. It's based on a true story.
And it's for Bella and Ari and Tori, and Rachel heard it back a while ago before those three weren't even here.
And back in the day, parents had cursed me for their repeat button on CD players. I hope I can remember it. All right, it's about a dog that we adopted. And the short version of that story is that when we adopted this middle-aged dog, we wanted him to have a better diet. So I took this as my job to go to the local health pet food store and find him something that was better to eat than the case of really gross big cans of food that had come with the middle-aged dog. And when I walked into the pet store, I found exactly what I was looking for. It was a bag of kibble that said, low-fat vegetarian nuggets for mature animals of low activity level. Right on the bag. You can't make this stuff up. I won't identify the company. There might be lawyers watching tonight. But I will say I am very pleased with the results of this food. I am. So what follows is the terrible but true tale, pause, of what happened one day in our house, as much as I can remember it. I'll do my best. We have a little dog whose name is Oli. He doesn't like to spend much time alone. So it's fortunate he landed in our household, 'cause both my wife and I work out of our home. Well, you can guess what I do, and Trisha does massage. She has a treatment chamber in our smallest room of 3, and Oli likes to nudge the door and sneak under her table whilst Trisha works on shoulders, backs, and knees. One day we run all out of Oli's dog food. For some reason we could not get to the store. So we had to dig around and found some ancient mongrel chow cans, that gross stuff we'd buried way back in the cupboard. This change in Oli's diet was not welcomed by his system. An 8-year-old canardly still he ate all that was there. Let's just say the phrase intestinal disturbance comes to mind when we detected something different in the air. That very day a brand new massage client was coming to our house for the first time. He'd never had a rub before and wanted in some raffle, so with eager expectation rang our chime. Trisha brought him in the house and took him to the table. The room was warm and cozy and the music soft and calm. Then Trisha left the room so that this person could disrobe and, as was customary, climb in facing down. When my wife returned, she was immediately accosted with an odor so horrific it defied a common label. Not completely unfamiliar though, for there indeed was Oli looking sheepishly from underneath that table. I'm so embarrassed, Trisha blurted, and removed that foul offender while explaining about the canine food's malodorous effect. Then she re-entered, still apologizing, all abashed and mortified. A farting pooch does not inspire respect. Whereupon this untouched patron stirred beneath his linen membrane. Was that a great line or what? I'll sing it again. Whereupon this untouched patron stirred beneath his linen membrane. He propped up on his elbow and pronounced this epilogue. With chagrin upon his face he said, I don't know how to tell you, but it didn't come from you or from your dog. Hardly a song to end a concert with, but a true story. Let's put 2 hours and 47 more seconds into this, and may I thank you all for your kind attention. I look forward to seeing some of you in a couple minutes. This feels better to end with. Everyone looks for their calling in love, but I always find it surprising the way people say that they're falling in love when I always felt I was rising, floating right off of the ground and reaching something that I only have dreamed of. I'm not falling at all, I am rising in love. And everyone talks about tying the knot, but I have a hard time agreeing with the way that we bind up the love that we've got, when the feeling of love should be freeing, lifting each other up instead of giving one another a shove. We won't be falling at all, we'll be rising in love. Let love grow, you've got to give it a chance. When you found it, a bird in your hand will stay until you start to close your fingers around it. Love is a river whose waters we test, and a measure of where we are going. But you never can step in the same river twice, for that water is constantly flowing. But the deeper the river, the greater the trust, and the more that we're rising above, we won't be falling at all, we'll be rising in love. I am not falling at all, I am rising. I'm not falling at all, I am rising. I'm not falling at all. I am rising in love. 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 Old, but hey, stay in power. So, thank you again. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Martha. I'm just going to go slip into something a little more comfortable, and I'll be right back. Brandon, how we doing, my friend?
Great, buddy.
All right. All right. So don't go away if you want to hang out in the Zoom, and then I can see some of you. We can have a little talking, and then I'll check out some of these chats later on tonight. I'm going to save that chat before I lose it altogether. There it is. So. All right, I'll be right back. So there'll be some music coming on, and here we come.
People go where they go.
That's
At
my
the
man.
end of the day, he's still a regular Joe. He's a regular guy in an irregular game. Maybe just what we need instead of more of the same. People think what they think. People know what they know. But at the end of the day, he's still a regular Joe. Our differences are understood, but regular sounds really good. Our differences are understood, but regular sounds really good. Just a regular Joe, a lot like me and you. Time to take a deep breath after all we've been through. Opportunity knocks, and this I know. Oh, I could use a big cup of regular Joe. A really big cup of regular Joe. I was nervous, I was scared. He said jump, and I said where? Off this cliff, we're gonna glide. You must be joking, I replied, not at all. He said to me, I'll be right here, here's where I will be. We'll take the plunge, it won't be hard. We'll do it once, and that's a start. 'Cause practice makes progress, give it a try. That thing you think you can't do just stresses you. It's just a journey, you and I. Practice makes progress, give it a try. Got a friend in a chair.
Well, welcome back. Let me see if I can change my view here. I want to get gallery view. Oh my heavens, there's 38.
David, do you want me to open it up so everybody can unmute?
Yeah, sure. And if you want to say something, just raise your hand. But this is like 36 people. This is more people than ever come to my concerts in person. This is like...
Right.
There were 1,036 before. You missed us.
Hi,
Everybody
David.
just Just so you know, I want you to know that this is still streaming live to Facebook and YouTube, okay? Just so everybody knows. That's an important
Watch the
detail to
language, you
not
guys. And
forget.
if you want to say something, we can leave you all unmuted unless there's something really noisy where you are. Just raise your hand, and I've got two screens. Brandon and I will kind of keep an eye on who's got a hand up, and then we'll hear from you. It's good to see you guys. God.
Hi, David.
Who's that?
This is Darlis Meyer.
Oh my God, Darlis. Hi.
Hi. So
What a
good
wo-
to see you. It's been a long time.
Oh my heavens. Good gracious. You know, I probably had dark hair. I probably had hair.
I
back
know.
Wait, don't agree with me that easily now. Come on.
What a treat to hear you again.
Well, thanks. You know, the thing about doing these internet concerts is that, you know, I might see some of you once or twice a year. But when you're on the internet, I like see some of you every single time. So I got to like stay on my toes and like come up with new songs and try to mix it up a little bit so you're not hearing the same show. If I go out on tour, I might do a show from night to night that in substance is kind of similar with little changes here and there. But here, you know, you're keeping me on my toes, you guys. So I appreciate that. I'm going to go around and say hi to everybody just before we get started. Of course, as I see you on my screen, of course, Liz Freeman's still here. Hi, Andy Sussman in Florida, I trust. Bill and Reed and Orcas Island. Yep, Leon in New Jersey. Bob Panzer. Hey, Bob. Tom and Diane Batter. Yep. John and Linda Lambert in Ojai, California. Karen Sakowitz in California. Michael Zimmer, I don't know where you're from. Remind me.
I'm from Newton. I saw you at the Harvard Public Library a couple of years ago.
Oh, gosh, yeah, after Sam W. one year. And the Downs, my dear friends, Ken Downs went rafting with me in August. That was a great trip, wasn't it, Ken? And then we have Robert Brown. Is that you with a 76248? Oh, my God, dear friend from Santa Barbara, California. Martha Moore, we have heard from Martha. Darlison Howard, Amy, and Kit K. Where are you guys from?
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
First state of my mother. Royalty. All right. Hi to Eddie D. Eddie, where are you from? Just trying to get a geographical sense here.
Now I've got the mute finally off. So I help out with the sound at the Linden Tree Coffee House.
Yes, thank you. There's
You're
Brandon. There's Annie. Ann. Hi, Ann. Where are you zooming to us from?
Maryland. And I first saw you when you led a workshop. I don't know if you remember at Strathmore. Strathmore Music Center in Bethesda.
Sure.
You led us in song, and it was so wonderful. So I've been to a few of your concerts in this area.
Oh, that's awfully sweet, Ann. Thank you so much. Now, next, I'm going to Bella Meyer. Where are you guys calling in from?
Unmute yourself.
I'm asking.
I'm not making any mistakes. All right. Governor Sarah Palin, thank you
All right, we'll
so
come
much.
back to you guys.
That's my grandkids.
Oh, those darn grandkids.
That's Bella and Ari.
Oh, hi, Bella and Ari. God, old fart folk music. You guys have a
They're
lot of
near Atlanta.
you guys have a lot of cooge, and some of you know what I mean when I say that. We got Carl and Deb. Hi from Whit. Hey, Whidbey Island.
Hi, Whidbey.
Oh gosh, I missed you guys too, huh? Too much. Carl is one of the greatest singers you're ever going to hear. He's
Very kind. Very kind.
Brothers Four.
Brothers Four.
Brothers Four, right there. Historical singer there. Carrie and Jeanette Go, who wrote me one of the best letters I ever got. Having my song Master's Degree played at their wedding. And if you don't know the song, the first line is, my partner decided to go back to school. She's doing a master's degree. Have you ever been involved with a person who studies psychotherapy? He wrote me this letter saying, we'd love to have it played at our wedding. And I said, I'm giving these guys 5 years maximum. But here they are.
Yeah.
Godfrey Daniels, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Good memory.
Mm-hmm. I'll be 25 this summer.
I don't see Jeff Nesta, but I know he's in from Madison. He's a good friend from the old days.
Greetings, David.
Everybody on this screen. Just going quick through, and then we'll do the raise hand thing. I just want to acknowledge everybody. Martha Darling, Robert Brown, unbelievable.
So Robert, just as a side note, Bill Buchan and has been on the rafting trip, and so has Ken Downs on this call. So we've all rafted at different times. I think we got Rod and Ramona in Portland. God, I have missed coming back to sing for you guys. And same with you, Kristen in Michigan. Marge and Norm Heckman are from?
We're from Bedford, Mass.
Oh, okay. The land of my new accent. My wife's accent.
I have seen you in concert several times.
Well, sweet to have you here. And then Midge, how about you? Where are you coming in from, Midge? New York. That's Midge Pappas. And Macy. Hi, Macy. Bonnie Bell, Kenosha, Wisconsin. John and Kathy Miner.
Hi, Jeff. They're my neighbors.
There's a lot of Wisconsin here tonight. Okay. Don and Kathy. And then my heartthrob, Joni Levinson, is here. Hi, Joni. And Nancy, I was having emails with.
Connecticut.
Connecticut? Okay. I think I got to everybody. Now it's time for you guys to raise your hands and chime in. This is so heartwarming. It's heartwarming. Yeah, I see Amy and Kit have their hand up. Amy and Kit, there's a lot of Wisconsin here tonight. Okay. Don and Kathy, and then my heartthrob, Joni Levinson. Hi, Joni.
We're talking.
Connecticut. All right, someone has to mute. So Amy and Kit had your hand up.
Yes. Hi, David. My name's Kit.
Yep.
Years and years and years ago, I had the fortune to sing with you at a concert in Montclair, New Jersey. And I just want to say that's one of the highlights of my short singing career.
Montclair, New Jersey, that wasn't like the Outpost in the Burbs or some coffee house?
Yeah, it was.
We're talking. So way back.
Oh, that's really cool. That's awesome.
I keep coming back to your music time and time again over the years, and some of them hold up really well. And I had the pleasure of discovering, although I'm not sure why I didn't think otherwise, that you have continued to write music. And I have a lot of new things to listen to.
I'm up to 15 CDs now, and 4 of my CDs are also on LP through this German audiophile label that I record with.
Yeah.
And I write these songs because I have nothing better to do. And people laugh when I say that, but I really mean it. I have nothing better to do.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a ha-ha, aha, I call that.
Inspiring.
Well, that's awesome to have you here, Kit. Thank you. Who else? Who else had their hand up? Yeah, John Lambert, my friends from Ojai. They've been to Ireland with me, those guys.
Hey, David.
Hi.
I just want to let you know that you can throw Boulder into the mix because Howie is watching on Facebook.
Oh, nice. Hi, Howie out there. That's nice. That's John's brother.
Oh,
that's awesome. It's great to see you guys.
David, how's your mom doing?
She is struggling, but make a long story short, some of you got my mom Gloria, who looks a lot like this in her younger days, professional big band singer.
Oh wow!
Yep.
Nice.
She's 94, and about a week ago she couldn't get out of bed anymore, and she's been living in her own house out in LA. So my sister's been working tirelessly, and we've been trying to get someone there pretty much as round the clock as possible and we thought we were heading down the hospice path because she's so weak she can't get out of bed. But we got a call yesterday from her doctor's office who said they're going to find a bed for her in rehab to see if there's one more chance of getting her strong enough to go back in her house, which is where she wants to ride it out. And I don't blame her a bit. So a little bit of a relief, but we were just about to enter, hospice protocol for Mom. But she's hanging in there, and her birthday will be February 3rd. So I hope I may be with her.
Send our wishes to her.
Yeah, tell her we said hello.
Good wishes.
She loves you guys. She knows you. You guys rendezvoused at a Peter, Paul, and Mary concert in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And I got you backstage passes.
Yep, she got us backstage.
Yep,
That's
wonderful. Awesome. Great. It's so great to see you.
You too. We miss you.
Yeah.
We miss you.
Who else?
Hey, David.
Yep.
Yep. I'm sure how we're doing this.
All right, who's
Don and Kathy? I'm trying to ask you a question. I asked it on the chat. I was wondering how you felt about having an attorney general from Niles West. Did he graduate with you?
Merrick Garland and I went to high school together. And
cool.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that I'll be appointed attorney folk singer, but I don't know.
Hey, David, this is Joni. I thought that name sounded familiar.
He was a year older than me.
Right.
And he was on the debate club and the It's academic team. I was in the music department and theater, But yeah, quite amazing. Maybe, the way things work out, I thought he should have been a Supreme Court judge.
Yeah.
It was unfair he didn't get a chance. But maybe that all led to him becoming the Attorney General, and that's where he is best fit to serve, So I wish him well. Yeah, my high school buddy. That's about as close as you get to anybody famous. Yeah.
I don't think the Senate would confirm you.
Of course they would.
Well, now they would. I think. Who knows anymore? And someone's writing that Patricia says, my wife was 2 years ahead of him. So there's some Niles West people here tonight?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, this is raise your hand. I want to see who you are. Oh, of course, Joni. Yeah, but someone else? That is wild. That's just wild. I see Mary Larrick is here from Florida. Hi, Mary.
You'd be here if it was a normal year.
Last time I saw you was in person at the Luna Star Cafe.
That's right.
What a great night that was. Andy, I think you were there too. Yep. What a world.
And you also did a concert for Robbie Greenberg, I believe, that trip.
Yeah, she's vamoosing to North Carolina, I heard, in a few months. I know. Leaves a big hole, but that won't stop me from coming to Florida.
Okay, good.
Dave, Leon here. Do you remember the concert you did with two other fellas called Growing Taller Than My Hair?
Yeah, I do. It was in New Jersey.
That's right.
I forget who put it on, maybe Princeton Folk Society or somebody like that in some big hall. Peter Yarrow.
That's right. And?
One of them. And I think it was David Buskin of Buskin and Bateau.
I think I was going to say David Wilcox, but you might be right.
No, Wilcox has too much hair and too much talent.
I think you wore a hat that day.
I had enough hair. I may still have kind of enough.
I think you wore a hat because you had not grown taller than your hair yet, as these guys said.
But I wrote the song, so they had to invite me. I was planning ahead. Or as Christine Lavin says, you're not losing hair. When your hairline is receding, she says you're gaining face.
All right, wake up. I'm going to put David.
Thank you so much for the request. It was beautiful. Everything was beautiful.
It's so weird singing in a room to a screen, What can I tell you? And sitting down the whole time, too, So.
That's why we were glad we could applaud for you audibly.
Well, all kudos to Brandon, because without him, I wouldn't know where to begin, because he was streaming this to Facebook and YouTube and keeping the Zoom thing going and watching the chat. God bless him, I pay him. Of course.
Hey, I watched on YouTube and it was really nice there. And I want to say you did a great job. You adapt well to looking into the camera and looking. It felt like you were singing right to me most of the time. So, yeah.
Gene Ross is checking in from Florida now. It's so weird, because if any of you have ever done Zakowitz, we have to talk and we have to get Trisha on this call. I'm going to text her right now. Karen, been to Ireland with us. She's one of our best buds from California. But anyway, what was I talking about? The camera. If you've ever done Myers-Briggs personality profile, I'm an INFP, I am made for this format, but it's, you too? You too, Carl? I wouldn't get that from you. That's amazing. Psychotherapists have noted that more than half the people who are introverted by this standard are performers or professional speakers,
One of the things they say under INFP, and it's a small category, but they say these are introverts who have a performance side.
Trisha thinks I'm more like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but I just say that different parts of my personality emerge in different situations.
In clergy circles, that's the holy horseshoe, INFP. I'm ENFP, so I'm close.
What does that mean, holy horseshoe, Bonnie? You'll have to elaborate.
Well, that's what the most of them are. Most clergy, that's, yeah.
Was that horseshoe you said, or no?
I think she's saying you were born to be a man of the faith, David.
I thought it was Holy Horse something else.
That
Turn
sounds
my
like,
camera.
that sounds like a great song title, The Holy Horseshoe.
It's horseshoe sounds a lot like another word. You know?
Exactly.
I got it. Yeah, I gotcha.
Nobody else got that.
Kristen, how are you doing in Michigan there, my friend?
Doing okay, thanks. Things like this are helping a lot because I can connect to people and feel like my world is a little bit more open. I live alone, which you know, but maybe not a lot of these other folks do. And I'm definitely an extrovert person. So this has been a challenging few months without live shows to go to and without being able to travel as much to be near loved ones. But things like Zoom are a huge help, and I've been able to work, which is a huge blessing. So we're hanging in. Thanks.
You know, I appreciate that. And I also want to give a shout out to your governor. That woman is so graceful and elegant, in my opinion. I know everybody has their opinions, but she has been grace under fire for what she has been put through by a small group of very noisy people.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I have felt very fortunate to be in a place where people are working really hard to keep us safe. And that's part of what I tell myself when the isolation starts to feel like it's closing in a little bit. Like, no, this is for the bigger picture. This is for everybody. And you just have to find a way, and you're going to get through it. And you're going to be fine. And work it. So.
Yeah, for me, this whole situation with what's going on it's not going to be sending thoughts and prayers or it's all going to be okay. We have to actively engage, and this is an incredibly strong force that is in operation in our culture.
100%, yes.
I have to pay attention. You know, I can't just think everything's going to be okay. I want to stay in Michigan for a minute, Kristen. I want to go to my friend Vitus, my recently retired special ed teacher, career special ed teacher. There he is. That's Vitus Undris, my dear brother in song. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well.
To access your
Gratitude for tonight. And I went to my closet to look for my Brothers 4 album. I still couldn't find it, but I know I have one here somewhere. When you mentioned that, I said, wait, I have one. So.
Oh, listen, I go to New Jersey. You know, Carl goes to Japan. I mean, that's, you know.
And I just want to say Via listened from Canada, so it was international. So.
Okay.
Yeah, we keep getting, people will buy them like at thrift stores or give us their old ones, and we'll just get stacks and stacks of the old Brothers 4 albums, and we can't deliver them to like local thrift stores because then they all come back.
You know what else, Deb? You can't throw them away either.
Oh.
Can't get the video.
Hey, Tom and Diane, how are you doing up on Orcas Island outside of Seattle? How are you doing up there?
We're good. We're down in California today, but we're doing great. Diane's on the mend, and we're doing another one of your wonderful concerts.
Like I said, you guys hold me to the fire, you know, trying to interject some new music and a lot of co-writes tonight, as it turned out. There's Grant Baldwin from Eugene, Oregon. He's trying to check in. Grant, if you don't know Grant, he's an old friend from the Kerrville Folk Festival. We met there as contestants in the songwriting contest. And more recently, and of something of which I'm very proud, we co-wrote this song called When the Universe is Ready, So Am I. That's my co-writer. And if you don't know the song, send me an email, davidrothmusic@gmail.com, and I'll send you a link to the YouTube video that I put together of the song that Grant and I wrote. It's all about this, you know, and how we can get together when the universe says it's time. That was what he said in an email, and it turned into a beautiful experience with an old friend. So, hello, Grant.
David?
Shut up.
Yep.
David, I found it. Try to Remember. Of course I couldn't find it. It was called Try to Remember.
That's the song I was thinking about also. I love that song.
Oh, God, they might try to remember the kind of September.
Yeah.
Fantastics or Oliver?
Fantastics.
Wow. And that's oh, my God.
That's the picture, which was...
Is there also a song called Green Fields? Once there were green fields,
That was our Brothers.
kissed by the sun.
Brothers 4.
Just sang
Once there were
that.
valleys where rivers used to run.
I love it. This is going off the rails.
You guys are 2 hours late for the
This
move.
is a somewhat newer LP. And this is from Stockfish Records, a double LP of my latest project there. Cool. And when I actually had these in January last year before we went on lockdown, people were coming up to me saying, "Why are you selling calendars on your merch table?"
It's a little big for a CD player.
Yeah. Who else? I'm trying to get Trisha on this call. It's some of you know my lovely wife. She's downstairs doing something. I want to get her in here because there's some people she wants to see and say hi to. So let me just shout down a second. Hold on.
Isn't he just the best?
Jimmy Durante.
Yeah.
He's a sweetheart.
Unless he gets out to Ohio.
Definitely.
Hey, Rod, you have to wake up. Didn't get him on the phone.
Let's all yell Trish.
Well, on the count of three, the real Trish.
I'm going to be proactive and just take this.
Oh my God, he's good. Hi, Amy. I didn't realize you were counting.
Yeah.
Hi, Leon.
How you doing?
Take a loss of feed.
David, did you disconnect from your camera?
Oh God, we lost David.
David is frozen.
Having fun without him, though.
Well, it's cold.
We may have to go on without him.
Hi, Amy. I didn't realize you were counting.
David's frozen.
Throw a party and then don't show up, right?
I thought that we should all make cardboard cutouts of ourselves and send it to David so that he could
I'm going to have
set
headphones
him
on,
up.
so we're not going to hear.
Look at that.
I sent him an applause button.
I think he'll be back in a minute. I'm guessing.
It's so
If the teacher
funny.
doesn't come back in 15 minutes, we're legally allowed to leave.
My, what happened here? Somebody
Hey,
shared it.
I'm just putting this screen up so that you guys aren't all on the stream on Facebook and YouTube. So you can keep talking amongst yourselves. I just thought you might appreciate that.
Thank you. You rock. Good job.
Oh, look at her.
You want to go?
There we go.
The brothers here.
Hi.
Hello, Trish.
Hi, Trish.
There she is. Now let's do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
This is This is Bill Buchan from Orcas Island, Gates' house on Vitus.
Lots of people all over.
My friend Cantor and Jason. John and Linda from Ojai.
Hi, guys. Hi.
Listen, it's Glenn.
Sam and Rick and Kristen from Michigan. The two Look, this is Jeanette and Carrie Go, who wanted to have the song Master's Degree played in their wedding. Yeah, years ago, they wrote me this thing. And look at
I can't hear.
Think Twice, Rising in Love.
You have to mute everybody.
Crazy.
Oh, there's Tom.
Yep, Tom and Diane are here.
Hi, Trish.
Tony Levinson and I went to high school together.
Where?
Right here.
All right.
Ron and Ramona from Portland.
All right.
Grant Baldwin, you know, when the universe is ready.
Hi,
Ross!
Kristen.
Ross!
Oh my God.
Hi, Gene. Think Twice, Rising in Love.
You have to mute everybody.
Yeah, mute everybody. We'll unmute as we go. Brandon, how about muting?
David, that's coming from you. Everybody's muted but you.
I'm going to mute off. Right here. Ron and Ramona from Portland. I'm going to mute off.
David, that is coming from you. Everybody's muted but you. It's coming from your computer or your room.
Yeah, mute everybody. We'll unmute as we go. Brandon, how about muting? That's coming from you. Everybody's muted but you. Okay.
Yeah, David, that noise is coming from is your computer have something playing in the room, or do you have another browser open with YouTube or Facebook? It's coming from your microphone. You upset the balance, David. You left the room.
Can hardly hear him now.
Yeah, he's muted. I think he's trying to fix.
That was a Roth joke.
It was a dog joke.
You have to unmute yourself now, David.
Okay, now I'm unmuted.
There we go. We're good now.
Thank you, Brandon. Jeez, you're earning your money tonight.
Upset the balance, David.
You know what I did? I unplugged my direct hot wire. Now I'm going on Wi-Fi here. So.
Can hardly hear him.
I am still hearing a feedback. Are you sure you don't have Facebook or YouTube open on your computer?
That was a Roth joke.
I'm looking.
A disturbance in the force.
Yep.
I hear myself back in time.
There we go.
Yeah.
That should do it.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Okay, we should be good now, everybody.
All right. Hey, guys. Sorry about that.
That was noisy.
That was noisy.
It's like chickens.
Hey, Pamela, I didn't ask you where you were zooming in from. Pamela Van Wyck.
Champaign, Illinois. You're saying at the UU Church here in Urbana-Champaign.
And I went
a year or so
college
ago.
there. I went to the college there.
Also, you went to school here.
I did. It was
Yeah.
$350 a semester for an Illinois resident.
Wow. That must be how I got on your mailing list, because this is wonderful. And so thank you.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you. Your church provided me one of my favorite T-shirts. It was too small, but it was. Well, what's the saying on the T-shirt from your church?
Deeds, not creeds, or something is one of them.
Creeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, deed, not creed. Love that.
Mhm.
Okay, Karen Zakowicz, you got the floor, girl.
Hey, Trisha. I got the floor. I feel like I got to get up and dance or something.
Karen is a retired firefighter. She has been in the trenches in California wildfire firefighter. Right there, that girl right there. So when we went to Ireland a few short years ago, the bus driver and the tour guide, we stopped at every firehouse in Ireland so she could talk to the firemen there. It was so beautiful.
It was great. It was great. Good concert, David. Got to tell you that.
All right.
Good show.
Don't
Thank
stop.
you.
And there's Gene and Rod from Florida. Hi, guys. Right about now, I would be running around Poinciana Island trying to.
Yes, good.
And I miss it.
Come on down.
It's my birthday this week.
This week, I know. And Rod and I have the same birthday, March 14th.
Right.
Look who came.
Very cool.
Uh-oh. The singing dog is here.
Hey, David, it's Fran.
Fran!
Where?
Yeah.
We're looking for you. Uh-oh, the dog is winding up.
I thought I smelled something.
I don't see me. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't see you, but I hear you, Fran. That counts for something. Uh-oh, he's ready?
Is he going to let one go?
You know what? We can't now. If there's any music in the house, he sings. So we can't bring him to concerts anymore because he sings anytime there's music. Somebody sing.
His favorite song is "Last Day on This Earth."
This is
My last day on this earth. I'll say I'll say.
Everyone in the family has musical talent.
I'll say.
Okay.
You get the idea.
Yeah.
It's a barrel of laughs around here every day. Okay, buddy. Okay.
I was at a Zoom wedding earlier today, and part of the ceremony was the sharing of the pets.
Aww.
So we all got to put our cats and dogs on the screen.
Aww. I've officiated a wedding once on the beach down here, and all of the bridesmaids and bridegrooms had their dogs with them. And one dog's like, this, and the other one's sniffing the other guy's butt. And I'm like, okay, focus. We got to get this ceremony.
What about the dogs?
Standard wedding behavior.
We had a dog that was the flower girl. At a wedding, I performed inside the North Prairie Church. David's been in there
Yep.
to sing. I wasn't asked, I was told, as pastor.
I had maybe my favorite meal of 2019 at Bonnie Bell's Church in Kenosha. Before my concert, they had a soup kitchen down in the kitchen. It was so beautiful to be there. I really enjoyed that meal.
Do you know that she's still serving? They're making sandwiches during COVID. And last week, they were preparing for the announcement of the verdict in the Jacob Blake. So the church was behind locked gates because they're connected to the courthouse. She stood on the corner and handed out sandwiches outside that gate.
Wow. Yep, the ordinary people doing extraordinary
Yep.
things that no
Yep.
one ever hears about, if not for the likes of us. You know. There's Fran Stone. Hi, Fran.
Hi.
Oh my goodness.
She has a pseudonym, Galaxy Tab A.
That must be some kind of tablet.
That's my tablet. Yeah.
I met Fran Stone, this woman you're looking at an Omega Institute conference in Fort Lauderdale, where I was opening for Maya Angelou 1,000,000 years ago. And,
1998.
oh, for crying out loud. And Fran came to my singing workshop. And then a few weeks later, I received a greeting card in the mail. We were living in Seattle. And David, you might not remember me, but she said, today I want to attend your singing workshop in upstate New York at Omega. And today's the day I quit smoking. And the money I will save on cigarettes for the next 7 months will help get me to your workshop. And she said, I haven't been on a plane in 20 years either. So this girl was motivated. And she showed up, and the first day I had about 15 people in a circle, and I'm looking around because I had the card with me. I said, are you Fran Stone? And she said, yes, I am. And I said, would you mind if I start the workshop by reading the card you sent me? She said, no, I don't mind at all. And so I just told everybody how important singing was to somebody in this room. The class was called Singing for Shy People, Overcoming the Fear of Singing. And that's where I met Fran Stone, who you see before you now.
Galaxy Tab A. She's a walk-in.
There you go.
Yep.
It was the best thing that I ever did, was going to that workshop. I love you dearly, David.
Love you too, Fran, of course.
So Leon's in outer space.
Yeah, Leon's in outer space. He's a cantor. He posted him singing "Made a Light of Love" on the web a few weeks ago. Very nice job, I might add.
I'm so tired. Oh, that's because I went to bed at 2
Yeah,
o'clock.
you tired girl. He was on the second screen. We're on the second screen.
Oh.
Well, how are we doing? Is everybody kind of like falling asleep, or has anybody got something to say?
Let's see.
Oh, Vitus, good night from Livonia, Michigan. Okay, Vitus will take that.
Thank you for playing at my birthday party.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Leon. Happy to be of service.
Happy birthday, Leon. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
So who's from what states? Tell me who's from.
Jeff is from, hey, Jeff, turn your camera on. I see your hand is up. Let's see. Martha's in Massachusetts. She's from the Ivy Court. Liz is in Wakefield. Leon's Jersey. Eddie, I forget. Eddie, where you told me he was from.
Yeah, I'm next door to the Ivy Court.
Okay. Oh, that's right. He does sound for the Ivy Court.
What channel are you on, Eddie?
Yeah, he's on a TV. That's cute. That's the kind of TV I used to watch when I was a kid with, my sister and I would fight over the black and white button for the channels.
Yeah, and no remote control.
No.
You had to get up and change the channel.
And
through shag carpeting, no less.
That's what made it remote.
This is Lori Taylor.
You were lucky we only had one channel.
My sister and I used to fight over the box the washing machine came in because it was my house or her house. We made forts out of those.
Eddie's my great linden tree sound person.
Yeah, I'm reminded.
And friend.
Carolyn Whiting, who's not showing her face, but she's one of our Linden Tree pretty regulars and does a Rise Up Singing at the UU Church as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, tomorrow morning, by the way, I'm speaking virtually at the UU Church in Danbury, Connecticut at 10 a.m. If anyone's interested, free. My sermon is called Ready for Change. It's a sermon in song. Zach Meikler?
Zach Meikler, that's Kieran.
Amen.
Hey, Jeff, I saw you had your hand up from Madison. How are you, Jeff?
Oh, I'm great. I was just trying to get him to unmute me. I thought that was the signal.
I found you. Finally see you. Nice to see you.
Everybody can unmute at will now, Jeff, now that the show's over.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
God bless Brandon.
So what did you just do? You just unmuted everybody?
Yep.
So there's the Patricia Parcells. Where's she?
Hey, Jeff, I saw you had your hand up from Madison.
Corvallis, Oregon. We hosted David one year when he came out.
And I'll never forget, I was responsible for producing the concert. I'd never produced anything before. And you remember the sound guy went to the wrong church? We couldn't figure out where's the sound guy.
I couldn't count all the times that happened. I once showed up at a church somewhere where they said, "Just go easy. The sound person is deaf." It was a church somewhere in the Midwest, and he'd been there for a long, long time, both before, during, and after hearing loss, and they didn't have the heart to let him go. So, all shapes and forms.
Make it work. Make it work.
Yeah. Anyway.
I was at a synagogue for a while with two people here, Amy and Kit. I tried getting David to come. Well, I tried getting our synagogue to bring David in, and David warned me. He said, I would do my songs, which I thought was a great line.
Oh. I don't know the other songs.
It was like I gotta warn you. I'm gonna do my songs. I gotta do my show.
Oh, I'm remembering Corvallis now that I see Patricia. Yeah, that's so awesome. Great to see you guys. Miss Oregon. And Macy's from Seattle. You still in Seattle, Macy?
No, about a year ago, moved here to Minnesota. Do you remember when, you came and gave a concert and I'd been here a week.
That's right. You came, I think it was in Minneapolis at the UU Church, which was convened at a synagogue, as I recall. It's just so many different forms and shapes.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Oh, it's great, Macy. Yeah, how's Minnesota treating you?
It's pretty chilly, but I love the seasons, and yeah, I'm loving being able to go cross country, downhill skiing, and all of that.
Yeah,
but I miss Seattle, of course, as you know, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh, what a difference! That's strange.
Yeah.
I've got a good Corvallis, Oregon story.
Oh,
pardon me?
I got a good Corvallis story from 2 weeks ago. You guys just had a lot of rain. Was it 2 weeks ago?
We always get rain this time of year.
Tons of rain. And my girlfriend that used to run the Sky Temple in Mexico, Karen, where we used to do yoga, she was driving in the rain. Oh, it was what day? It was New Year's Day, I think it was. I can't remember. But anyways, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we had some real downpours right around New Year's.
All right, so she's driving from Silverton to Corvallis, and it's raining, and they had just gotten a message that their friend's pregnant daughter, was in labor. And they're like, oh my God, she's going to have a baby today, oh my God. So they're driving, and all of a sudden, the clouds separated, and this huge rainbow, the rainbows that you guys get, like the whole thing. So Judith says to her wife, pull over. They're on the highway, I gotta get this rainbow. And she goes, this Mack trucks and everything gets in, and she says, pull over. So she gets out of the car, and she's waiting for the trucks to go by, and she runs across the street. She gets it into a camera. She takes the picture, gets back into the car, and her wife says, well, you might as well text them and say, you saw a rainbow, means it's going to be, good news is coming. So she texts the rainbow, and she gets a text back right away, and she goes, Judith, look at the time on your photo that you took the picture, and it was 2:42 p.m. She said the baby was born 2:42 p.m.
Wow. Wow.
Not 2:43. 2:42. Isn't that amazing?
That's awesome.
Martha Moore has the same birthday as me.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it in the chat.
No, it's her mother's.
It's my
Your
mother
mother.
who has the
Your
same
mother.
birthday as you.
How old is your mom, if I may ask, Martha?
She was born in 1932, so she's about to turn 89.
Wow. Well, you know that she and I and Billy Crystal and Albert Einstein share that birthday.
Isn't that Pi Day?
Yep, 3.14.
All right. So you get a pie for your birthday instead of a cake?
Well, the best was when I came to Michigan, Lansing, and I don't know if you were at that show, Kristen, but the sponsor had a connection at the Michigan State Bakery. Made a whole plate of cookies with my picture on them.
I was indeed at that show.
It was an inkjet picture of my face on cookies, and I was debating whether, if I ate them, I had one in the freezer, if that was cannibalism or not. You know?
Were you allowed to as a vegetarian?
I ate one, and then I polyurethane one, and I sent it to my mother for a paperweight. You know.
What was that song about vegetarianism that you had?
I ate a piece of meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
Right.
So when I used to, when I was like working my way into David's life, I used to sell his CDs for him after his concerts, and
Is that all I've got to do?
Well, no, it took a lot. Let me tell you. He says it took him 6 years for me to chase her.
Yeah, she chased me for 6 years till I caught her.
But anyways, so I'd be going, okay, I'll give you change here, this, and all of a sudden these women would come up after the concert and they'd go like, I feel so connected. We have such a soul, and I'm like, take a number. So one night, this young girl, this young beautiful girl, comes up to him, and she goes, David, and David goes, yes.
Yes.
She goes, my mother loves your music. Shut up, don't cry.
No, my mother turned me on to your music, but right around that time, I played at a school for emotionally disturbed kids in upstate New York, and a little rugrat came up to me and tugged on my jeans and said, "Are you David Roth?" And I said, "Yes." He says, "My grandmother has all your music." Such as it is, I'm happy that I'm still kicking.
Able to run away from
What the kid in Santa Barbara who said to you after you sang at his house, he goes, "Oh my God, you anybody want a dog?"
Yeah.
No. He goes, "You are my new number one." He said, "You know what? I like you better than Michael Jackson." Yeah.
So, about 3 weeks ago, I got a letter addressed to David Lee Roth.
Oh, this is a good story.
From a state penitentiary in California. It was handwritten, and it said, "Dear Mr. Roth," he thought I was David Lee Roth. "I'm so-and-so, and I would, if you could find a way in your heart to send me an autographed picture, I would so appreciate it. I'm getting out in 2022, and you're the kind of person that can change the world, and I'd love to hear back from you." So it's David Lee Roth and the whole thing. I knew he was. It's not the first time I've gotten mail for David Lee Roth. I always read it, and sometimes I forward it. But I wrote this guy back. I got on the web, and I went to David Lee Roth's website, and I contacted his publicist. I said, "Hey, I screened the letter. I said, there's an incarcerated person in California who would love an autographed picture. If you can find your way to send it to him, I'm sure he'd appreciate it, and wouldn't take much to do." So yesterday in the mail, I got the second letter from this prisoner, this incarcerated person, whose name is James Brown.
Wow.
And he said, and I wrote him a letter saying, "Hey, I wrote to David Lee Roth's people, and I hope you're doing as well as possible, and that everything works out for you. And he wrote back and said, "Thank you so much for writing back to me and taking the trouble, to contact, the other David Lee Roth. You sound like someone, who's a good person. And I know what you mean. My name is James Brown, and I get confused for the singer."
But the other thing he did is he thanked David for responding. He said, sometimes we feel like people on the outside never want to see us as human beings. And can't tell you how healing it is that you took the time to write to me. It's going to help me in my recovery.
That's great.
But I used to be on drugs and now I'm clean. And thank you so much for, having enough respect for me to answer. It's really a beautiful
Very
letter.
cool.
Really
Very
beautiful
cool.
letter, yeah.
You have, David, you have that mistaken identity thing like Michael Smith did too.
Oh,
There was
absolutely.
the Michael W. Smith, yeah.
Yeah, Mike Smith, the great songwriter from Chicago who wrote The Dutchman for you folk fans and who passed away a few months ago from natural causes, as far as I could tell. He might have had some cancer thing going on. It wasn't
Yeah,
colon.
it was. Yeah, colon.
Yeah. Last year was a hard year between John Prine and Mike Smith. I considered those two guys 2/3 of what I call the holy trinity of Chicago songwriters back in the day, and the third one was
Steve
Goodman, of course.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Gwen Ellen says in the chat she taught at the state prisons there in Oregon. Gwen Ellen is the community college teacher of the year last year. She's a great educator.
Where is this her?
This is her right
There
down
she
here.
is.
She's the one who sent us the cherry pitter. I'll remind you.
Oh God! What that is the best invention ever. It works. Do you
That's
guys
exactly
know
what
that?
my wife said.
You can pit cherries with it. I mean, it works. You just like, let me have a big bowl of cherries. It's amazing.
Yeah, the only thing that ruined it was the Bisquick. But in a pinch, what can I tell you?
No.
So who wants to go to Ireland or Scotland next year or rafting? I know. Karen, Zach, are you on the list for Ireland next year?
We were rafting.
Okay, good.
And Ireland. Rafting.
I am, David. I can't
There are
wait.
generous refund policies in place, so don't panic. If it's something you like, send me an email.
I want to go rafting in Ireland.
Yeah.
We make stuff up as we go. We're going to go singing in Scotland. First trip to Scotland, universe willing, next year too. So
remember the Ireland story, Karen, with you and me and David walking up the stairs?
Oh, good God.
Which one?
Okay, so I don't know if any of you ever heard about that men don't really listen. You have to catch their, So we're walking back from a concert and up the stairs in Ireland to our hotel room. And
I hope you can tell this.
I'm here. David's next, and Karen's behind him. And Karen and I are talking between David about Roombas, of those vacuums, the Roombas, right?
The self-vacuuming things that roll around on your floor.
Yeah. So did you remember what you were saying about it, Karen, or we were just talking about him?
Yeah, I was talking about how it was rolling around and it ran over some dog shit. And it's like, that's not a good thing to do with the Roomba. And then what did I say? I said something about.
You said, David, do you know what a Roomba is?
Well, yeah, we were laughing so hard, and Karen goes, David, do you know what a Roomba is? And David responds,
I said 333, our room number.
333. And Trisha and I fell on the stairs. I thought I was going to pee all over myself. It was hilarious.
That's okay if you got a Roomba.
Hey, what's up? You know what a Roomba is? Yeah, it's 333.
I mean, we're roaring back and forth and, laughing. And David, you know what? Yeah. He goes, yeah, room 30. And we're like, are you kidding? He wasn't kidding. He totally was like, la, la, la. What's great about David, he doesn't listen until needed.
I'm hyper focused. I'm not a good psychic multitasker,
So walking upstairs was the best you could do. Oh, that was every time I see a Roomba now, I think of you.
I know, no, forever. I think that's probably the hardest I've ever laughed in my life because we were trying to walk up the stairs.
Oh, it was hilarious.
And he's looking at us like, what? And I'm like, you didn't just hear that whole story?
So Gene and Rod have been to Ireland with us.
Yeah.
and Karen has, and there were a few other people who dropped off who have been, but we have fun on our adventures, universe willing.
Eddie, I want that TV screen.
She wants that.
Do you guys did you see that? I want that.
So when I log in, I have the option.
You may have it, Trish.
And the background is artificially put in there too.
Oh, there.
So that's a picture from our photographer at the Linden Tree in the background, Bob Tanner. And this is just a
you can find it in
option
filters
from Zoom.
Filters, yeah.
In your video settings, video.
My Mac is
filters.
too old to
Filters
have. Doesn't
background.
have any filters in there, so.
It's like God's talking to us. All of a sudden you hear it's under filters.
Brandon is
Sorry.
God. He is good.
I love it.
No.
But can he get it on his computer? He doesn't have
No,
it.
I don't think it's your computer, Dave. I think it's your Zoom version.
Yeah.
Update your
it's
Zoom.
Your Zoom
version.
account.
The newest version of Zoom.
Okay.
Which
well, I
which
thought I'd updated
you might have it because you're got a pretty new version, but the newest version of Zoom has those things.
Where is it?
If you go to
This is
where the
what-
start video button is or stop video, there's a little triangle button, and you should be able to see choose video filter.
Yep.
And then you'll see a bunch of options.
And it says
This
yes.
is-
The background filters, and there's a square that says none.
This is what my family did on Christmas Day
Let's see.
This
on
is
our
cool.
Zoom.
I'm trending.
Oh,
Something
yeah.
new here.
Oh my God! Look at Leon.
Yeah.
I want that TV thing though. That is so wild. Look
Okay.
How come we can't get it? I want
I don't know.
it.
Well, Brandon, I'm getting a MacBook Air M1.
Awesome. Let me know when you do.
So,
Let me know when you do. We'll get you all set up.
okay.
Wait, do I have it on mine?
And I'm going to also tell you guys that Brandon, as great a tech as he is, he's also on the tech team for our songwriting camp, which is all levels, called Cyber Songs. It's the offshoot of our in-person camp, February 19 through 21 online. Brandon will be on the tech team there too. It's going to be we've got 8 phenomenal instructors, long classes, all levels. Going to really, really be a beautiful thing. There's going to be some folk singers you haven't heard of who will blow your mind. Steve Seskin, who co-wrote the song "Don't Laugh at Me" that Peter, Paul, and Mary did an anti-bullying campaign on for 10 years, is on my staff. Susan Catano, who teaches at Berklee School of Music in Boston. Cozy Sheridan, of course, Sloan Wainwright. Hey, you got it. All right.
And Martha, you got it.
Good girl.
But I can't get me on it to show you.
All right.
I love this. I want to be a news reporter. That's great.
Hey, I just want to do a quick shout out to Nancy Purdy. Nancy, we had some emails about the wellness conference. And do you have a camera that you could open up so we could say hi to you? Or maybe she left. Okay.
It's fun watching Martha make discoveries.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep anybody or Brandon. He's got kids and all that kind of stuff. So, any last licks here before we say a big thank you and a goodbye? It's great to see you all.
Thank you, David. Great gift.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks to Martha,
Thank
to
you
Liz,
so
to
much.
Leon, Eddie, Kristen,
Thanks.
Gary, Jeanette, Carl, and Deb. Please give my regards to the island.
Thanks.
Zach, Amy.
All the after parties this stimulating.
I love it. Gwen Ellen, Bonnie Bell, Grant, and Brandon. Let's see.
Take care, David.
We got you.
Oh, Trish is having so much fun. Look at her.
There's some of my kids at the school.
Right.
Can you hear me?
All the work she had to do.
Now I had to look at my MacBook.
Fast.
Okay.
Coming to you tonight from Cape Cod, WCGG.
Okay.
Hours
Good
of
to see you
entertainment.
guys. Good to see you guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Again.
Seeing you.
Enjoyed it very
Bye. Nice
much.
to see everybody.
Love you, David. Love you, Trisha.
Be
Thank
safe
you,
and well,
Brandon.
David.
All right. Say
Bye.
bye to Facebook and bye YouTube.
Bye,
And Brandon
everybody.
looks surprisingly like
Bye,
David.
Trixie.
It's amazing how that works, isn't it? Amazing. Good night, all.
Good night.
Bye.
Be well.